All right, guys. Let me fix that. Better, I guess. Whatever. So, it's been a while since I've done a spoiler discussion on a movie. But that's what I like about it now that I'm just kind of like merging my old channel with this channel. So now it's just mostly horror, but also gaming and music channel. So that's what it is. So every now and then I'm going to feel in one mood or the other. I mean, music is my number one passion over film. So there's going to be sometimes that I don't feel like watching movies, and I'm just going to be cranking out guitar shit. So if that's your thing, you like that, cool. If not, just wait, because I can't go more than a few days without talking about horror. So this movie, 2010's The Shrine. I haven't seen this movie in years, and I just saw it on Tubi when I was scrolling through stuff, and I said, that was a pretty damn good movie, if I remember. Now, this was an IFC film. I remember I saw it back when it came out. This was like I don't want to say the golden age for IFC films, but like my golden age with watching a lot of films coming from like IFC and on IFC on demand and stuff. 2008 to like 2013, 14. So this is like right in the middle here. It's directed by Jon Knautz. I want to say that's how you pronounce it. And that's one of the Ashmores. I always forget which one. I want to say Aaron, but I could be wrong. But it doesn't matter. They're twins. They look exactly the same. I can't tell one from the other. And this movie's never talked about. Like, ever. And this is a damn good possession movie. Like, yeah, there's like stuff we've seen before in a lot of the stuff in this movie. But it's done in a really cool way. And the atmosphere in this movie, I love it. And just the whole feel of this movie. If for people who haven't seen it, short like little synopsis. These two journalists, female journalists and one of their boyfriends, played by Ashmore, goes to Poland to try to figure out the disappearance of a backpacker who was backpacking through Europe and disappeared in this Polish village. So they go there to try to figure out what happened to him. And they see this like cloud of fog in the village that's just a static fog. It's just always there. It doesn't move. And they end up walking through it and seeing a statue in there, a shrine. And things don't bode well for them. It's basically the whole plot, basically, that you need to know going into this. It's a fun one, for sure. And like I said, the atmosphere is fantastic. So if you haven't seen it, it's on Tubi right now. But let's talk The Shrine from 2010. I just love seeing the IFC logo at the beginning of films like this. Nostalgic. So spoilers from here on, obviously. Let me know how you like the top-down angle instead of the direct forward. I don't know. I was trying that out. So let me know. But so we have the opening scene here, which is awesome, and it reminds me heavily of Mario Bava's Black Sunday, just from hammering the mask into the person's face. But we see Eric, the guy who disappears, and I like the white gown that they put them in, like this. They're just like the religion, and this is in this Polish village, right? Like they're just, I don't want to say a cult because they're right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not a cult that's like spreading bullshit or like they're afraid of the shrine like for no reason and they're doing this for no reason. No, they have a damn good reason for doing it. And that's another thing I love about this movie. It's very bleak, and I love that about it. Like, nobody makes it out of here. Like everyone is fucked. I mean, Ashmore, he leaves. But after what he just witnessed and went through, damn, man, like this guy is going to be in an asylum or something after the events of this movie. But I love how they dress him up and they put him down on like this stone bed for lack of a better term, and strap them down, and then they just fucking, they cut them and stuff later on. Like, I'll talk about that in the scene with Sarah. Like, that's fucking brutal. Like, they cut the Achilles tendon. Like, oh man, that sucks. And then they just put the mask and they put it over the face and just hold it right over the face. And then the priest, like, and that's why I think the atmosphere is so great in this movie, because it just the fact that they don't have subtitles for the Polish language or anything like that, it makes you feel foreign, like in a foreign place. It makes you feel like they do, like they don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know why these people are doing this, and they do have a damn good reason, but it's not like they'd ever be able to communicate this with them. And it's not like they'd be able to say, like, yeah, well, you stared at the thing, so now you're going to become possessed, so we have to kill you to, you know, save the world and stuff, you know, make sure the demons don't get out. So I'm sorry, but this is what we got to do now. Agreed? Yeah, the person is not going to take that at face value, and they're not going to believe shit coming from these people. So you have the whole language barrier here that makes it feel even more terrifying, just more isolating. Like, you just feel for them, man. Like, you really feel like these people are in just the worst situation imaginable. And they are. And there's no escape from it. Now, I know I've seen the actress here who plays Carmen, the main girl, the reporter, and then Sarah, I know I've seen her too. I can't think of where, but I know I've seen them before. Probably since this. And now I'm seeing them younger, and I'm like, why can't I remember where I've seen them? Sarah, for sure, though. She's like the intern at Carmen's place where she works. And the boss, doesn't want her investigating any of this. Like, she's looking into Eric's disappearance, says that his luggage showed up at like some random airport, that he never had, there's no record of him showing up in the Czech Republic, that it's a very strange story. And as she looks into it, like, there's been a lot of disappearances, like, in Poland, in this or around this village. So it's a juicy fucking story, and she wants to make a name for herself. So I don't blame her for being like so into this, that she's just willing to put everybody in such a like dangerous situation. I get it, but still, I mean, and she says it later, like, this is all of her fault. All of this is her fault. So, I mean, she can't blame anybody but herself. Really. The whole little dream sequence when Carmen's in bed and she's sleeping, and then I just hate dream sequences in movies. Like, I can't take them anymore. But be it here as it is, it's cool. Like, she sees Eric, but like his eyes are missing and stuff, because like the spikes on the back of the mask that they hammer onto the people's faces. And that whole concept is cool. Like I said, I mean, it's straight out of like, they used to do that, like, historically, first of all. So it's not really out of anything, but it's just always reminded me of Bava from Black Sunday in the beginning with the spike mask and stuff. It's very, very similar, but I like the look of the masks too that they put on them. It's kind of like featureless, but it has like a little bit of feature, but it has no like face or anything like that. It almost just looks like a sheet of metal, like plastered onto their face, but like kind of like a little bit of like a ridge in the middle. I don't know, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. And her boss, he just wants her to cover fucking bees. The bees they're dying off. And we got fucking issues because of the bees. And that's all he wants her to cover. She don't want to cover bees. Nobody wants to cover bees. Beads? They don't allow you to have bees in here. All the aerial shots of Poland, I don't know if this was filmed in Poland. I don't know. I'm an American. I'm fucking stupid. I'm with geography and shit. So I have no idea where they filmed this. But I know it's a Canadian film, so they probably filmed it in Canada. But it looks beautiful nonetheless. Poland, fake Poland, fucking real Canada, whatever it's supposed to be, it looks really cool. Yo, this guy's writes in his diary that about the village. He's saying that it's so small that there's no motels or hostels or anything, that he's roughing it in an old barn. That's your cue. Get the fuck out of this village. You're in the wrong place. Like, come on. If you gotta sleep in a random ass barn. Yeah, you don't belong in the village. You should be backpacking somewhere else. Go to Amsterdam. Go fucking anywhere but this spooky village. And they seem like they've never seen cars before. But I like how it looks very authentic. It looks like what I think Poland would be. Like, it feels like Poland. It feels like a foreign little village. Like, the way everyone's dressed, just the scenery, like, the cinematography is great in this movie. And just the atmosphere, like I keep saying, it just keeps building and building. Like, especially once they hit the shrine in the fog. Like, it just keeps getting better from there. I feel like you see this in every fucking movie when they go to a foreign country, like a village like this. They see the guy, the blonde dude, who's like, I don't know, like the son of the priest. Or it's implied a little bit, maybe, but he's like in charge of the village, like of the younger guys, excluding the religious, like old people. And he's carving up a pig. And then the girl Sarah's like, "Oh, that's disgusting. That's so gross." And then Ashmore is like, "Oh yeah, no, he's just a farmer." Like, you know where hot dogs come from? Like, I feel like they have that in every movie when people go to another country. That someone has to see someone carving up food, and yes, it is becoming food now. It's dead, and someone has to say, "Oh, like I'm a vegetarian," or "Oh, fucking, like, why do I have to kill animals?" Like, it's so tiring for me. And it has nothing to do with the movie, really, but still, it's a pet peeve. The little girl here, Lydia, that they meet, and she, what the fuck's her name? The main girl, whatever. She asks her and says, "You speak English? Like, you know, America?" And she's like, "Yeah, cheeseburger." Dude, this bitch is funny. And especially, she is a bitch, alright? Don't fucking give me that look. She is. If you've seen this movie, you know what she does later to these people. So, but, bitch says cheeseburger, funny. I wonder if people in Poland do think of Americans as just cheeseburgers. I'm always shocked by the lack of blood that butchers have on them. Like, after just ripping apart a pig, like a whole pig carcass. This guy had like a little bit here and like a little here. Like, yeah, he had an apron on, but still, like, he's got to be covered in blood. Nah, he's fine. And so, Carmen, that's her name, read in Eric's journal about this fog that was just over the village, like in the woods, and that it just never moved and just stayed there. So now they just witnessed some type of religious ceremony with the three old dudes that like are holding, one's holding his hand out and like to be kissed and shit, and he's wearing like the weird hat and like most religious figures. If you got a cool hat, then you'll become a good religion. That's that's what I've learned over the years. Actually, that reminds me of George Carlin when he says that everyone, all the different religions are just fighting about who has better hats. But yeah, they see that cloud of fog and shit, and they're like, that has to be it. Of course, I mean, how many fucking static fogs are there out there? So they start approaching it, and then blonde dude comes up and he starts saying like, "No, I'm like, where are you from? England?" He's like, "Go to England." They're like, he says that they say they're American and they speak English. So he says English, so then go to England. They're from America. I mean, whatever. This doesn't matter either, but so they start driving off, and then Carmen just can't let it go. So she's like, "Yeah, I came here for a story." And then she drops the bomb on Ashmore. I don't know his name. Like, it's just Ashmore. From here on out, and any other movie he's in, Ashmore. I'm not even going to specify which one. It's just Ashmore. But Tubi wants me to let you know, though, if you want like the best fucking insurance for your car, shop Progressive, and you also get like apples from an apple tree in this commercial, something like that. But she's like adamant. She's like, she drops the bomb on him. Like, "Oh, I didn't even get the okay to come here. Like, nobody knows that they're there." And he says it like a little bit from now. He says like, nobody knows we're here. Like, no one in the world knows that the three of them are there in that place. In Poland, in some village. And that's so scary. That is such a scary thought to me. Just to be in a foreign country like that, in this weird ass village, and no one in the world knows where you are. That's scary, man, especially for situations like this. I don't know how many times situations like this pop up in in these other countries, but in this situation, it's not good. So they just park their car like a little bit outside the village, and they don't like seem any like concern at all is had for where the car is parked, like look for a landmark so we can get back or anything like that. They don't look around at all. They just like park the car and they're straight into the woods. So I don't know how they think that they're going to remember where this car is. But this whole sequence here, when they're like right up against the fog patch, whatever it is, and they're just looking, and like Ashmore's taking pictures and everything, because that's what the whole reason he came, because he didn't want to come at the beginning because for some reason, and then she wanted like more time with him because she's putting her career first and everything, which drives this whole story. Is she's doing all this for her career, which again, I get it, but look what fucking happens. So that's why don't work hard. That's like that's like the main moral of the story here. Don't work hard and don't go into fog patches in Polish villages. But like Sarah goes in first, and I like how Ashmore and Carmen are like talking, and in the background, without like drawing attention to it, you just see Sarah just walking slowly like into the fog, and she just disappears, and then they notice and they're like, oh, Sarah, and they start calling out for her, and then she comes out after Carmen goes in looking for her, and Ashmore finds her, and she's like, no, yeah, Carmen's looking for you in there. And then we see the fucking statue, the shrine, and yeah, Pazuzu, like it's very Pazuzu, but it looks fucking sick, man. It really does. Like it's got like the demon face, and it has like the heart in its hand. Then once you stare at it, that's the curse here. You get possessed. So if you stare at this shrine, then you end up getting possessed, and that's why this whole religious order here has to do what they do and put people down and put a mask on their fucking face and spike it through their skull, because they have this shrine that's cursed. It's a curse upon their village, as the blonde guy says later on in the movie, I think, to Ashmore. But great mood and atmosphere and feel, everything in this whole scene, in the fog, and the statue looking at her when she like walks around, and then like it changes direction of where it's looking, and then the heart starts pumping and the blood starts coming out of it. All of that is so well done. I love this scene so much. Now, it does make you wonder, though. And this place knows about this shrine, right? They know what happens when people go in the fog and look at the shrine. So, and it seems like they don't like having to do this. Like, they don't like having to kill people to stop them from turning into demons. Seems like a lot of work. So why not build a fucking put a fence around the fog? Put a big ass fence. Build a wall. Come on, get the Trump supporters. Build a fucking wall around it. Build a castle around it, a pyramid, so it's something with no windows or doors, like so no one can get in. Nothing. These people haven't thought of anything to keep people out in what generations at least. How long this thing has been here, we don't know. But come on, they've never thought of a single thing like this? I find that so hard to believe, man. It's like they're asking for it. They just want people to wander into the fog. No one is going to walk into a village, see what that is, just like a weird fog cloud over the forest, and not go check it out. No one. So they're just attracting people that are going to get possessed, and they have to kill. There's a million things, man, that I can think of right now to rectify this issue. But, you know, we wouldn't have a movie if we did. So let's just carry on, shall we? And then that's when Carmen comes out and she says to Sarah, like, I saw a statue, and she says, me too. So Ashmore did not see the statue, so he is fine. but they don't know that yet. Now, Lydia, now you've met Lydia. Lydia, the tattooed lady, ends up coming, the little girl, and ends up bringing them to Eric, the person they came here to find. But then she traps them down there, like a little bitch. That's why I said it earlier. She's a fucking asshole. She did that on purpose. She brought them down there in order to trap them. And again, I get it, because they have to. Because these girls can't live now. Otherwise, who knows what could happen? Could they possess other people? I'm guessing. Or is it just a self-contained possession? Is it like a deadite type thing? Or a zombie-ish type thing? That if you scratch or bite somebody or something, then they'll become possessed too, and they can like spread and take over the world? Or is it just these two bitches that here that are possessed, and it's just a case-by-case basis? We don't know any of that, so there's no explanation for that. But they have to die. So, I mean, Lydia's not doing anything wrong, really, but still, it's kind of fucked up. Do you know how fast I would be out of this place, of this village, of this country, if I walked into this crypt here that Lydia shows him to, and saw all these caskets, wooden caskets, then breaking one open and seeing that it's Eric from the tattoo, with a mask welded to his friggin' face, cuts all over him? I would be so gone. Are you serious? These people like wait around? Just seeing the caskets would be enough. Again, her career, but just the fog thing alone, and the villagers chasing me out. I'm out. Like, end of excursion. But after this, after seeing what happened to this guy, it's like, yeah, time to go, like right now. And then the villagers start pursuing the three of them, because then finally they're like, all right, yeah, let's get the hell out of here, man. It's time to go. So they're in hot pursuit. It's a whole hot mess, and they're in some hot ham water. But they end up all getting captured, of course. So the girls end up getting chloroformed. Then there's like a quick little knife fight, barely, but scuffle with Ashmore and the blonde dude, and he knocks him out and ethers him too. Then they wake up in the crypt with just an amazing scene coming up here. But right before this is they're in the house and they're trying to hide, and that's when Carmen says to Ashmore, and it's just like, this is all my fault. Like, I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. And isn't it great when a woman finally admits she's wrong? If you got mosquitoes, you got a mosquito problem, biting your ass up all the time when you're outside trying to have a nice springtime leading into summer, mosquitoes biting your asses up, you want to go at Orkin. That's the mosquito company Tubi recommends you. Cool scene too when the like hooded religious dudes, and one of them goes up to each one of them after they're captured, and he looks into like the girl's eyes, and like you can just tell. And I mean, Sarah looks bad. Like, she already looks like pale and like red under her eyes, so she's already starting to become possessed almost. But you don't really have to look at her eyes to figure it out. But he looks in each of them and he realizes that Ashmore didn't see the statue. So it's just these two bitches he's got to kill. And again, I love this. I love how ambiguous this movie is. I love how it doesn't have subtitles. It doesn't translate any of the Polish language and stuff. It makes it that much more mysterious and that much more realistic. If you were in their situation and you were in this village in Poland and they were speaking Polish to you, there ain't going to be fucking words floating in the sky in front of them like for you to understand them. So you're not going to understand shit. And it's going to be that much more scary. And I love how they handle that in this. And then they start ripping their clothes off and stuff. And then imagine, and you start thinking like these people are going to fucking rape us and stuff. Like these females getting ripped their clothes off. It's got to be fucking terrifying. And then this whole scene coming up here when they kill Sarah. Excellent. So good. So fucking creepy. So atmospheric. So just disturbing, and it looks awesome. I love the shot of like the one priest up here and then the two walking up to Sarah and Carmen and putting the white robes over them. Awesome shot too. And Sarah, man, she gives a good performance as actress. Like, can't remember again anything else she's from, but she's from something. I know that. But I like how she's. I like how like when she starts like when they strap her down, they strap her head down, they strap her neck down, they strap everything down, and then she starts looking and seeing some of the hooded people as like grotesque monsters or like just demons and stuff like that. Like their faces are contorting into demonic faces. That's really cool too. And then, dude, they friggin' like cut into her arms and they cut into her legs and then they slice both of her Achilles tendons so she can't walk anywhere. Like, oh. Then they bring the mask. Maske, maske. You know what they're saying with that. And then they just bring it and hover it over her face. And then they take the sledgehammer and just smash it in and the blood pours down. Awesome. That is such a great scene. And they're really cutting into her Achilles. Like, there's one on each side. And they're like, it's not just like a quick, like, it's like a, and blood's fucking coming out. It's great. It's awesome. Oh, that's right. Blondie kidnapped Ashmore, and he's got a gun on him, and he's digging like his own grave. He's making him the sick fuck. He's making her dig her own grave. Points if you know where that's from. And just the top down shots of Sarah, like that with the mask and the blood coming in her head shaking, like right after it gets hit onto her. Awesome shots. So, of course, Ashmore, with the shovel he's digging his grave with, just turns that shit around, smacks the fuck out of the guy standing there, and then he ends up running back to the little crypt and stuff just in time to save Carmen, and they start running out, and she's still dressed in the white robe and stuff. That looks cool. And then, like, she starts freaking out. She starts looking all, like, green-faced and, like, gaunt and stuff. Looks terrible. She's, like, hallucinating, like, in the forest. I wouldn't want to stare at that statue, man. You end up like this girl, or the other girl, or the guy, Eric, or the ones before that, or one. He needs a car, he says. Good luck in this village. So then they show up at this farmer's house. He's got a car. And it's him, his wife, and he has a little son. And so, I think he has a daughter, too. Some of the woman's here. Is that a woman? No, that's the son. All right, 3. Son, parents. And then they all know. They can just look at her like they're villagers. They know when people are possessed. And they're looking at her like something's wrong. And they, especially when they like notice the robe, then they're like, oh shit. Like, this woman is possessed. We are screwed. And then the whole religious order is like on their way and they're chasing, but because they're like a creepy religious order, they fucking walk like this. So it'll take 10 years for them to get to this farmhouse that's right outside the village or in the village or somewhere roundabout in the village. All he wants is their keys. Like, why can't he just go like, that's all it should take. And this guy should be like, yeah, keys. Fucking, or go grab them, or blimey, whatever the fuck they say. And that should have been it. But he has to tie them up. And then the kid, he doesn't want to tie him up. But I think he dies in this, which is great. I know that sounds terrible, but I love when kids die in horror movies. Like, it's just something you don't see often. I love when movies go there. And Carmen, now she's like in full-on hallucinations, and she's seeing just, again, like these distorted, demonic creature faces, and it's great. Like, I don't remember the designs being that cool. They look really damn cool. Like, all those hallucination designs. Awesome stuff there. And then she just full-on becomes a demon. And she just, like, shrieks so loud. The whole fucking village hears it. And Blondie and the whole religious people, they end up hearing it too. And they know, farmhouse! 10 mile. Or like, however they do it, or wherever they do where it was, they're on their way. On their way. Fuck you. And then Ashmore goes trying to look after her and see what's going on. And the demon makeup looks alright. on her. Like, it doesn't look great. Like, it's not like Exorcist level, of course. It's not like, not even like the Doll series, Rocky Soroya's like demonic possession stuff, which I love the look of the demons in that. It's kind of like maybe like demons, like Lamberto Bava's, like something like that. It's reminiscent of, and then the religious people all break into the house, and she's fucking just drenched in blood, and like she ends up killing the whole family, killed the entire family, and the kid when. Ashmore goes looking in the kitchen and stuff. You just see the kid like on the ground and like there's blood everywhere in the kitchen, and he's just like, no, no, and gets dragged out of frame. Awesome. Like I said, great when kids die, right? Maska! Burning Maska! It is really intense though. The whole like this whole ending is a really intense ending. Like real cool possession scene. And then the blonde dude ends up one of the priests gets killed by her as the demon. Then the blonde guy stabs her in the chest with like this big ass sword. Then like they try holding her down, but like her head keeps moving back and forth, and he asks for the mask. That's hence the mask. And then puts it over her head and stuff, but then she's wiling about, and Ashmore has to fucking, he realizes what's going on now. He's like, yo, like, they're doing the right thing here. They're not just trying to kill us for some crazy reason. After the shit he's seen and lived through just now, yeah, he went and grabbed her head and he just held it in place. And then I love how, like, she just says, like, whatever his name, he's like, help me, and like looks up at him, and then they smash the mask down, the spikes into her eyes, and she convulses on the floor, blood. Awesome. And then they let him go, like, which is surprising, but not really. When you kind of, after you see this and you see that they're just trying to do like their duty, like their religious duty, and protect, the people against getting possessed like this, then it's not like they're really doing anything bad. Like, they're totally in the right here. Because, again, we don't know the rules for if this spreads, if she could go off and spread it to somebody else. But, I mean, what's the harm in letting him go? If anything, he's going to tell a story about this. And then it's going to bring more people there. I mean... That's not a good idea, really. I mean, they should kill this motherfucker, too. Right? Like, they shouldn't let this guy live. Why let him go? Next thing they know, they're going to have tourists galore in this place. And they're all going to be going there. And they're all going to be wandering into the fog and staring at this thing. And then they're going to have a whole demonic village filled with people that are just possessed by demons and that are ripping apart the village, and then start spreading on a fucking continental basis, and start spreading on a global scale. It starts getting so big that nobody can stop it. Everyone's demonic. Everyone is demonically possessed. Everyone's a demon from hell. Everybody is walking around staring at these shrines. They start building bigger shrines because they want other people to get possessed. They unlock the magic juju of the original shrine and they reproduce it for other places all around the world. And all of this because they don't build a fucking gate around the fog wall. I'm JT. This has been JT's Horror Discussions.